Okay, I know you can't see it too good, but that is actually the moon. And it is a deep red. It's pretty amazing. Let's walk around a little bit. This is the trash dumpster where all the tenants of my apartment were apparently raised by wolves and don't know how to throw trash away. And of course we don't have cameras here, so they don't know who's doing it. One time I threw away a box for a television, and I threw it away correctly. I put it in the goddamn dumpster. You know, I was able to actually do that successfully. But apparently when they came and emptied it, it fell out. And some manager at the apartment complex saw that it had my address on it and my name. So now they want to bill me for improperly disposing of trash. Like, fuck you. What about all the people here who just throw the shit over the fucking door? You're not going to find them. Let's go into the other apartment complex. See what's happening over here. I still want to do a video about Kirchhoff diffraction. So the other day what happened is, it's the funniest thing, I tried to edit the registry of my computer, which is something that I do often, and the other day I just really fucked up. And I deleted something I wasn't supposed to. If you ever want to edit the registry, go to your command line. If you're in Windows, if you want to edit the registry of your computer, which I do not advise you to do unless you know what you're doing, because it can really screw up your computer. I mean, it can corrupt any external hard drives you may have connected to it. It could also cause your operating system to stop functioning. I have everything backed up. Everything important, that is. So I'm not too worried about it. But I guess the worst thing that could happen is I have to get a new computer. Which isn't the end of the world. Considering that, again, I work for a living and I don't live... I'm not a societal leech who has some fake disability while scamming the state of New Jersey for, I guess, welfare, whatever, while running an eBay store. So I can afford to get a new computer. But right now my computer, it does not work at all, and I am afraid to screw around with it even. Because I want to be able to, even though I have all the important stuff backed up, I really want to just preserve everything, and I don't want to have to get a new computer if I don't have to. It's going to take me a couple days to figure that out. So I might make a video, I might upload a video I have a whiteboard in my closet, I might do that. But the thing about Gary is that he's just so far gone, and like a long time ago I gave up trying to reason with him. Like I said, I used to be a fan of his, but the physics stuff, they started taking over his channel, and it was like every time he made an addendum video, he had to talk about the physics. I'm probably going to get like fleas or I don't know what biting my legs now because I'm wearing sandals. Let's see let's go this way. I know you can't see anything. That is the 4 something freeway. I'm not going to tell you where it is. People are talking. They're probably talking about me. They're like, who's that weird guy walking around at 1 a.m.? It's probably some crazy guy trying to rob people or something. Maybe it's drug dealers. There's a lot of that. Like before I moved in here, somebody shot through my apartment. I didn't know about that when I moved here. Last year, there was actually a shooting in the parking lot right outside my door, and you can see the bullet holes in the garage. Maybe I'll make a video about it someday. Unless they probably didn't fix it because they don't do shit here. So if you're watching this, it's because I uploaded it on my mobile device or maybe on my laptop. So I do have a laptop. I have 2 laptops. Oh no, I have 3 laptops. I have one that's an old defunct Mac. Someday I'm going to put Linux on it, and I have never gotten around to that. I don't know why. But, by the way, that's a great thing. If you have an old Mac that is super slow because it's an old Mac and it doesn't run their new operating system, just put Linux on it. Because, they've been doing construction on this road since like May, I think. Or no, it was way before that. It was probably, I don't remember. Maybe it was in March. I don't know. At least April. Alright, we gotta be quiet. These people, they're gonna call the cops on me if they see me walking outside their house talking, so just be quiet. It is 1 a.m. here in undisclosed location. Alright, we're going back. Yeah, so about anxiety disorders. I'm not saying that there's no such thing as an anxiety disorder. Of course, there's such things as anxiety disorders. And in some cases, they might be. But certainly, probably not in every case, but in some cases, they might be severe enough that you literally can't work. But the thing is, Gary runs an eBay store. What does he do? He spends like fucking 10 hours a day on YouTube, either making videos, watching videos. Said he spent like 8 years just obsessively watching physics videos online. You're telling me that he couldn't get a job as like a customer service rep to answer phones or do anything like that? Yeah, that's bullshit. He says he's trained as an electrician and there's no work for electricians in Mendham. Let's cross here and get some more flea bites and all kinds of stuff. Let's go this way. This is what I think is going on with Mendham, or Gary Mosier. So, what I think is that he does have, I think he has some cognitive deficits, and I think that other parts of his cognition overcompensate for those things. So, because he's not stupid, but he definitely has some impairments. Let's put it that way. And one of those things is the ability to socialize. He obviously is impaired in that area. And I think it became, for him, in his particular situation, it became like a vicious cycle. It's like he doesn't know how to read people and like, you can say what you want about Donald Trump, that, he's literally the embodiment of, he's the 7 deadly sins personified. He's a disgusting human being who never worked a day in his life. And he's stupid, and he's willfully ignorant. He never reads anything. But, when the White House staff, people complain about George W. Bush not wanting to read the full memo that presidents normally have to read every day. So they would type up an executive summary, and with Trump it was even fucking worse than that. They literally anything that if they want him to read anything, they had to fucking put his name in it and every paragraph. Yeah, you want to get Donald Trump to read something or learn about something, make it about him. Even if you make shit up. But, one thing that he is good at, and was good at, still is sort of this, ability to read the room. Gary is the opposite of that. He does not know how to read people's expectations. So, for him, I think what happened was, he didn't measure up to people's social expectations. If they were having a conversation, in high school or what have you, or at work when he was a busboy. And the reason he wasn't doing that is because he had a deficit. He had difficulty reading people and, body language and sort of thinking from the other person's point of view. And as a result, people would become more, maybe they would, they didn't understand why he wasn't meeting their social expectations. So then they would rather than try to be subtle, they would be blunt. And then that just pissed Gary off. And rather than try to develop skills that to compensate for this deficit, I think that he just withdrew. And I think that's his approach to life. I think the way that he was raised by his parents made it so that he never realized he had to work for anything. Like, I should just be successful socially. I should be successful in school. I should be successful in my career without putting any effort into it. Because as a baby, where Gary would just cry and act out, and his parents just gave. But then there's a certain point in everyone's life where you have to move beyond that. And I don't think for Gary, that ever happened. So that's sort of his modus operandi for everything. He thinks that he should just be great at physics because he wants to, and he cusses his debate opponents out the hardest, and he pwns people the strongest. So he should just have all the answers, right? Oh. I need to check the mail because it's Sunday. God, so many damn bugs. But yeah, I think that's what his problem is. That's why he thinks that he can, actually, the funny thing is that that's what Ephilism is all about. It's basically virtue signaling, that kind of attitude towards life, if you really think about it. Because what does an Ephilist do? Or what does an Ephilist think is their ethical obligation? To do nothing. Not have kids. Don't eat meat. I don't even know, like, a lot of these people don't participate in society. Economically, at least. So maybe another part of it would be don't take part in society. They wouldn't phrase it that way. They would phrase it a different way, like, oh, it's just a rat race of capitalism. No, that's society you're rejecting. That's the society you live on. So unless you have a way to excise yourself from society completely, 100%, you're just inconsistent in your philosophy. Oh, God. Let's see here. Let's see what time it is. It is 1:23 in the morning. All right, I've been doing some cleaning. I don't know. I'm just going to end the video now, I guess. There's nothing else to say. Oh, let's talk more about Ephilism. We're on the subject. I can never stick to one thing. I always have to be distracted by a million other things. Let's play some... see what's on TV here. I don't have cable because cable is a waste of money. You end up paying for cable so you can watch one fucking show that you actually like. Fuck that noise. Yeah, so ephilism is basically the virtuification, if that's a word, of sort of rejecting, of just giving up, you know. It's just the humanity has come this far. The other thing too is that they, he drones, ethilists drone on and on. They like to drone on and on. They like to go on and on about how all the suffering that's happened on planet Earth, and say that you should feel guilty that you are basically living off of their suffering, right? Because humanity would never have evolved, right? Intelligence would never have evolved but for the process of evolution. And the process of evolution requires that trillions of sentient beings suffer in pretty horrific ways. So for the ethilist, because that is a fact of evolution, because it only exists because of this horrific process, that you should feel shame and you should feel guilty, and it's a guilt trip that they give you. But really, I mean, it would be, what would be a bigger dishonor to all of the sentient organisms before you, for you to get up every day and be motivated and enjoy life, or to just give up and put a bullet in your brain, and or maybe push the red button and nuclearly annihilate every living thing on the planet, even people against their own will. I think that the latter would be the bigger dishonor. Because in that case, all that suffering was for nothing. Okay, so that should be something that should motivate you to do better than become an ethilist. If that's the best you can do, that's really pathetic. I think that's enough of a video for now. I don't have anything. Yeah, so when I do get my computer working, I will do... Well, maybe I'll do a video before that on diffraction, because it is an interesting topic. And I'll go over the Poincaré inconsistency with Kirchhoff's original derivation, too. That'll be interesting. It won't be interesting to Gary or his followers. They'll just go, this is math. I don't like math. Math is stupid and it has infinity in it, and I don't. It's basically an argument from ignorance. Really, it's just like he can't understand math, therefore it must be bullshit. He can't understand quantum mechanics, therefore it's bullshit. Well, I'm sorry. I mean, the universe, mathematics is a fact of the universe, whether you can understand it or not. Why you would expect your bug brain to be able to comprehend the fundamental nature of the universe is beyond me. Like, why would you just expect that? And well, again, it's because either you just expect everything to be given to you, or life is bullshit and we should just red button the planet. Right? That's probably the answer. What's really depressing is that there's a lot of people who listen to him. I've actually seen this, like, in real time. People who, like, became discouraged by his philosophy. Like, you can actually track in real time how they were going to college, and they were college students, and they were priming themselves for a successful life, and then they just gave up. Or they became some kind of a... they just gave up in life. And I could mention names. Zohar Kohavy is one. I don't even know what he's doing anymore. But there's lots of examples. Like if you go back to the Stickum days, lots of examples of that. I think Amanda might be an example of that too, because she, although she does have sort of she owns an art gallery allegedly. She was like going to school to become an artist, but does she actually work as an artist now, or does she just do her stupid aphorism crap? I mean, I don't know. Yeah, well, this is getting really rambly, and I don't really have anything else to say, so I'm just gonna end it now.